Hello everyone. I'd like to pass along some tips for testing and debugging new data functions created using Lead Discovery ChemCharts. In a prior video, we covered creating new data function definitions using ChemCharts. If you haven't seen that, I highly recommend starting there. We'll include a link to that video in the notes for this one. So this video picks up where that video left off, namely, once you've created a new data function definition, how do we test it live inside of Spotfire? To do that, let's start off by adding a new ChemCharts data functions visual. The visual opens to a listing of all available data functions. The listing is generated dynamically by scanning a particular directory for all data function definitions. And normally the data function definitions are pulled from a Git repository every time Spotfire starts up. When Spotfire starts, the Git client built into ChemCharts will pull the latest copy of the repository containing data function definitions, and then that same directory is scanned for data function definitions when the data function visual opens. So we're going to use that same directory to insert our new data function definition and test it from the data functions visual. Data function definitions are read from the app data, local, temp, ChemCharts data functions directory. So for testing and debugging new data functions, all we need to do is introduce them into that directory. I'm going to paste in a directory called test that contains a new data function definition, order by ID demo.yaml. Once the data function definition has been copied to the correct location, we can make it appear in the data functions visual by clicking the right mouse button to open the context menu and selecting Reload Data Functions. When the visual refreshes, we know the data functions have been reloaded. So let's collapse these two categories, and notice the order by ID demo function now appears under the general category. Now, we're going to test this data function, but I have intentionally inserted an exception in the script to demonstrate how to debug new data functions. So let's go ahead and select this. We've already got our code column selected. Let's paste in a list of IDs. And notice up in the notification spell, we get a couple of errors. We see the message, this is an exception. If we look at the original code, this is an exception. So the reason I point that out is if data functions don't work correctly on the first try, it can be difficult in some cases to figure out what's going on. You can effectively write debugging messages to the notifications bell to get some background on what's going wrong with the data function script. We hope you find these tips for developing data functions useful. If you have any comments or questions, please direct them to business@glysade.com, and thanks for watching the video.